Welcome back to the morning show. After today's Wise Guy, you may never look at syrup again the same way. Matt Sellen is here to take a look at bending light with syrup.
Right. Well, with all kinds of stuff, actually. So
yes, that's true.
Let's finish off this stress thing, because that's kind of interesting. What we showed at the end of the last one was that with these cross polarizers, no light gets through at all. We stick some cellophane in there, and you get the nice pretty colors coming through, right, because the cellophane can rotate the polarization. We saw that if you stress a piece of plastic, you can also get light coming through. You see those interesting colors, because that also rotates polarization. And so this gives us a way to tell when plastic has been sort of stressed. So if you just take the most benign household object, like this little crappy piece of plastic lid off something, and you stick it in here, you see all these patterns and colors wherever there's a lot of stress, and wherever these lines come together, you know there's a lot of stress. So right in the middle of this thing, there's a little dimple where the thing was cast, I guess, or formed, and there's a lot of stress at that point. I did this last night, and I wish I'd remembered to bring it. If you take a jewel case from a CD and stick it in there, you see a lot of stress.
Oh, I bet.
And you know those things break really easy, right?
Absolutely.
If you take this little Tweety bird, who is made out of plastic, molded plastic, you can see the migraine headache.
Yeah, that's what a migraine looks like. If you could illustrate it, that's what it looks like.
And even just a piece of glass is kind of interesting. This is a piece of glass that's in a vise. And if I just crank down on this vise and I stick it in there, you can see colors, right? And you can see where the vise is pushing down on the glass, you see a lot of stress.
It goes down there. Oh,
right.
Cool.
Or just one last thing here. Just these picnic spoons are kind of pretty, and the stress is built up in that plastic also when these things are molded.
You can see the color somewhat in person. There's a lot more color to it, like every color of the rainbow, and then some.
Now, all the things we've been talking about have been solid things, right? The cellophane tape has the long molecules that causes it to be optically active. The stress that you put on a piece of plastic causes changes inside the solid that makes it optically active. But this is a surprising thing. Here's a glass of Caro syrup, and it's just...
He just happened to have a glass of syrup.
Just happened to have a glass of syrup. And here you see that this thing is also optically active. And in fact, if I rotate the polarizer, because we can't rotate the glass or we'd spill it, you see the colors changing. Okay? Isn't that pretty?
That is.
And so you might wonder, well, what's going on here? Clearly the molecules inside the sugar don't all line up in one way, because it's just a liquid, and they're not stressed because it's a liquid. But interestingly enough, sugar molecules all have a certain handedness. They're all kind of right-handed molecules. It's like a corkscrew. If you look at it from this side or from that side, it still looks like the same handedness of screw. So all these little molecules in there tend to rotate the light in the same way, no matter which way they happen to be pointing, and so they are also optically active, and that's what causes this thing to have that nice pretty color. So I kind of like that. And so next week what I want to do is talk about useful things you can do with polarized light, as opposed to just pretty things.
Just fun things.
Right.
These are fun.
And so I want to explain how liquid crystals work, and liquid crystal displays, and little lasers and things like that. So we'll do that next week. And if anybody wants to send me a description of how the liquid crystal in your watch or on your little laptop or your TV actually works, that would be cool, and I'll send you a T-shirt.
Okay, send all your answers to the Wise Guy, www.wiseguy.net, or send it to the morning show and we'll forward it to him. You can also leave questions for the Wise Guy at 373-3661. All the various ways to contact him. We have a link to your website from ours, from wcia.com under the morning show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.